Hi, this is Matt Regier for EDL 853 with my Module 1 presentation on my personal introduction. A little bit about me. I am married to Lindsay. We've been married for 11 years this past June. I'm also dad to Ben and Adeline, who are in the picture there. Ben is 6 and Adeline is 3. And we've had a summer full so far of t-ball, kite flying, some swimming lessons, lake trips, and other fun adventures. Professionally, I'm a Bethel College graduate in 2011 with a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. I taught for a year at Valley Center High School where I taught Earth and Physical Sciences, and since then I've been back at my alma mater, Remington High School, teaching Physical Sciences. I've been the athletic director for the last 5 years, and we're a Kansas redesign school, which has been pretty formative for me in my educational journey. It's really caused me to think pretty deeply about some of the things that we do in education and how I might do them differently, or things that I've liked that we've implemented here. And I'm also a Baker University graduate with my Master's of Arts in Education in 2015. Some interests and hobbies about me. I'm our head boys basketball coach. I spend a lot of time either working on that or practice planning, being at practice, working with our kids, or just scrolling Twitter for some new ideas. I have learned to enjoy exercise again. I was a college athlete and have learned to really enjoy exercising just for the sake of doing it. I really enjoy watching sports. I'm a Chiefs fan, a Celtics fan, Royals fan, enjoy going to games when I can. I like to work in the lawn and upkeep our garden. I'm looking out at some cucumbers right now. And I also really like a good cup of coffee. So, inclusive school culture. The school leader's role in implementing and maintaining an inclusive culture. The school leader really sets the tone for inclusivity in the school. They can be friendly, they can facilitate that friendliness with staff and with students. It's important for the school leader to address issues as they arise, and then to train staff members to address those issues. Not to just let them slide by. When a school leader sees something that needs to be addressed, they need to go address it and set that tone for the rest of the staff. It can be kind, it can be a gentle reprimand or a gentle addressing of that issue, but it does need to be addressed as it happens. They can train and share articles with staff members, just a fairly consistent sharing of information. That constant prodding to continue to be inclusive with staff is important. And then they can also create an advisory council to set and pursue school culture goals, or even just a singular goal, creating a council of some teachers and maybe some students to pursue a goal regarding how to be inclusive. And then it's really important, and this almost goes beyond inclusivity. This is something that I think most schools at least should be doing, facilitate and support academic supports for students, whether that's additional classes or remedial, like an MTSS type of a structure, but facilitating and supporting those supports is crucial for an administrator. Advocates, what can a school leader do to support and encourage advocacy? First, they can maintain and develop an attitude that all students belong and contribute. That's really central to being inclusive, that all students belong and all students have something to contribute to the school. They can recognize diversity as a strength and learn with students and staff. They're not just the sage on the stage, to use the familiar term, but they're learning about that with students and with the staff that they're working with. They can train staff to be inclusive and respectful, and again, learn with their staffs as they do that. And then they can hire personnel who will be advocates for their students. That's important. Hiring the right people and then being able to train them to be even better is important in this area. And then they can also just create a space for discussion and awareness of inclusive practices and how we can be more inclusive to students. Equity. What plans or strategies can be implemented to ensure the equitable treatment of students and staff in an inclusive culture? Again, we can provide those academic supports. That's crucial. Diverse and cooperative group arrangements, not just grouping your best kids together all the time or your worst kids. We wouldn't even use those terms. Maybe having some randomized groupings, but also having some groupings where students with certain strengths can offset or complement students with other strengths. Individualized curriculum and assessment practices. So individualizing that curriculum and those assessment practices to the students so that each student has an opportunity to show what they've learned in an area of strength for them. Facilitating learning and social skill development, not just delivering information, but facilitating that learning and allowing students to learn together and allowing students to learn through some inquiry. Maintaining high expectations for all students, and then providing all students with the opportunity to lead. That will look different for some students than it does for others, but every student should have the opportunity to lead in some form or fashion because they're capable of it. Again, we assume and we believe that they have something to contribute, and so providing them with an opportunity to show that in a leadership capacity is important. And the negative assumptions. How can a school leader change the negative assumptions that affect teaching and learning in an inclusive culture? Hiring is crucial here, and training is crucial. The people in the building, the adults in the building, need to be able to facilitate an inclusive culture. But then involving the entire community is important. Having students help each other, having parents partner with the school in an effort to make it an inclusive culture, those will help bring people in and help them to see that the diversity that is being valued here can be a strength. And there's value of inclusion for all the stakeholders in a school. I'm always amazed when we have our students help those that maybe have different strengths than they do, how good, how kind, and how much learning they can get from those experiences. I'm very rarely disappointed by our students when we do cooperative groupings of students with different strengths, or when we pair them with students that maybe have some special needs or needs that are different than their own. I think that awareness and that inclusive culture really helps to foster a sense of community in a school, and it helps to tear down some of those negative assumptions. And then it's also important in dealing with teachers and dealing with other parents and dealing with students to view and to propagate the view of education as a right for all students. Every student has a right to be educated and a right to learn and a right to demonstrate their knowledge in a way that emphasizes their strengths and helps them build up their weaknesses. Here are my references. I'll move my recording so you can see them. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to learning with you all.